Hi friends, I'm Emily and this is Ink Not Blood. As we say goodbye to another month, I have a very important question to ask. What the fuck is everyone's beef with February? I personally love February. Granted, I'm a little biased because it is my birthday month, but hear me out. First of all, I like winter, which I know is unheard of for a lot of people. But I like it when it's cold and I can be cozy and there's snow. I love it. Here in Michigan, February weather is often super chilly and crisp with blue skies and a bright sun and snow on the ground, and it's beautiful. Those are the best winter days. So can someone please explain to me why apparently most people rank February as their least favorite month? I mean, what the hell, you guys? Not cool! I even came across this chart, which shows that across political lines, independents are the only ones not ranking February last. Instead, they've given the month the very prestigious status of being in 11th place. Why? Also, what the hell are Democrats doing putting July as number 1? First of all, how dare you? Even thinking about July makes me feel all sweaty and gross. Second of all, how can anyone rank July over October? I mean, come on. Anyway, we're here to talk about the month of February. In January, I showcased my best and worst reads of the month, but for February, I honestly didn't read any books that I think should be labeled as the worst. So instead of doing that, I thought I would showcase my 2 favorite reads from the month of February, 1 novel and 1 graphic novel. One of my first reads in the month of February was a book that I still haven't stopped thinking about. And that book is Dry, a young adult novel by Neal Shusterman and his son, Jarrod Shusterman. The consensus on Goodreads is that this book is categorized as sci-fi dystopia, but I really don't agree with that. Just because there are things going wrong doesn't mean it's a dystopia. And I really wouldn't label this book as science fiction. If you ask me, it's really leaning more towards apocalyptic fiction, so you know I was into it. But what I'd like to call it is disaster fiction. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I'm going with. Like disaster movies. Disaster movies, disaster fiction. Something horrible takes place on a local scale, a natural disaster, a military attack, an alien invasion, and things basically go into apocalypse mode. But you know, locally, because of whatever disaster is taking place. Disaster fiction. Moving in the direction of apocalyptic fiction, but not quite there. Disaster fiction. You're welcome. Dry takes place in a region of California where the drought gets so bad that, completely without warning, the entire water utility system gets shut down in that specific region. So just imagine that one day you go over to the sink, turn on the tap, and nothing happens. Nothing. And when you go to the grocery store to get water, it's already been completely cleared out and people are this close to rioting and tearing the place apart. This is the chaotic breakdown that Dry throws you into. One of the main characters is a teenager named Alyssa, and you get to watch as she comes to terms with the gravity of the situation and how that realization affects her behavior and the decisions she makes, especially when it comes to protecting herself and her younger brother. And then there's Kelton, the super awkward boy next door, whose family happens to be hardcore survivalists. They've basically spent years preparing for the end of the world. Kelton's journey is interesting too, as he learns the difference between knowing the theory behind surviving and actually doing it. I could not put this book down. I think that the escalation of danger and urgency in the story was really well done. I found the characters to be super realistic, and they had believable reactions to the obstacles they were facing. This might sound weird, but I also appreciated how downright unsettling this book was. In recent years, drought has become a major problem in the United States, and it's a problem that's expected to get worse. If the shit that happened in this book was on the news next week, I wouldn't be surprised at all. That's scary, y'all. If you've read Dry or have thoughts on the premise, please be sure to drop by in the comments and let me know what you think. Moving on, my other favorite book in the month of February was a graphic novel called Taproot by Keezy. I honestly don't remember how I came across this book, but I found it while I was looking around online one day. Taproot, a story about a gardener and a ghost. And that was literally all I needed to know. Taproot is a YA graphic novel about a kid named Hamal. Hamal is no ordinary gardener. He can see ghosts, including Blue, a ghost who has become his best friend. Something weird is going on with the ghosts in town, and Hamal's unusual ability may be putting him in danger. There were so many things I loved about this book. First of all, the art was gorgeous, and I just wanted to lose myself in all the beautiful illustrations of plants and flowers. And the story and character relationships were so sweet. Plus, I like that the author didn't feel the need to spoon-feed everything to the reader. If you like beautiful, character-driven graphic novels with LGBTQ+ romance and spooky vibes, I strongly recommend you check this one out. I've definitely added it to my list of books that I want to own in my collection. And And Taproot has definitely got me interested in Keezy Young's work. I know she's got a webcomic called Never Heroes, so I'll go ahead and link that down in the description in case you want to check it out. I feel like I haven't heard anyone talk about this graphic novel, so if you've read it, please come by down in the comments and let me know. And if you haven't read it, go do that right now! Seriously, it is delightful. Before I close out this video, I wanted to add in one bonus favorite, and that is a TV show that I watched in February. Russian Doll. Oh my god, remember how last month I was freaking out about Killing Eve? Well, Killing Eve and Russian Doll are on the same level for me. They are both so good, and everyone should watch them right now. Russian Doll stars Natasha Lyonne, who you might know as Nikki from Orange is the New Black, and was created by Lyonne along with Amy Poehler and Leslye Headland. The show opens with Lyonne's character, Nadia, at her birthday party, which her friends are throwing for her. While looking for her lost cat, she walks into the street, gets hit by a car, and dies. Happy birthday, right? You have no idea. So she dies, but then she wakes up back at her own birthday party earlier that night. So you've got this Groundhog's Day-like time loop where she's reliving the same evening over and over again. But she keeps dying, and every time she does, she wakes up back at her birthday party and the whole loop starts all over again. Between Groundhog's Day and Happy Death Day and whatever other media has used this time loop premise, you might think that this idea is kind of boring or that it's been done to death. Ha! Get it? But I was pleasantly surprised by the inventive take of this show. Nadia's character is so good and experiences a ton of growth over the course of the series. Plus, I love that she is so driven to figure out what's going on. Seeing her go into detective mode and watching her exercise really amazing problem-solving skills, it's very satisfying. And the storytelling in Russian Doll is so good! The show does a great job of putting the viewer in Nadia's shoes. You spend the whole time feeling just a little bit behind and completely desperate to figure out what the hell is going on and why. This show will keep you guessing and wondering and puzzling things out for yourself. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say anything else other than go and watch it. Seriously, it is so good. And if you've already seen it, drop by in the comments to let me know your thoughts. I would love to speculate with somebody about what was going on, especially at the end. Alright friends, those were my February favorites. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. You know what time it is. It's time for an what the Whoa! Well, here we go again.